Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot1025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360, the poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescifcenter.com.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. On hot1025fm.com.
Tune in now on hot1025fm.com.
Hey everyone, and happy wonderful Wellness Wednesday. It is your girl Artisha, and welcome to the Uterus Bar. Thank you for those that tuned in last week for coming back and joining me, and for those that are new, welcome. Last week I had to go over a couple different things, such as my own hysterectomy journey. Part of it, so we're going to dive back into it. But also, I took you guys on a journey of histories of having a hysterectomy. For those out there, a journey of, guess what, this may be the common cause of you having to have a hysterectomy. And I hope you guys were enjoying, like, okay, got it. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't know this can happen. So I also launched my book. So my book is out there. I had my book signing, you guys, the Uterus Bar, and I want to tell everyone that came out there, thank you guys so much for joining me, allowing me to pour into you. And the women there were amazing. Thank you for sharing your stories. And you still can support. You can go on 208lymphatics.com and you will get a signed copy. And also, while you're doing that, go over there and grab that tea. Let Lymph Flow Lymphatic Tea to remove all those toxins out your system. Yes, we're going to sip on this tea before we spill the tea. You guys, I'm telling you, this tea is teaing. So I want to go back. So for those that this is your first time actually tuning in, I want you to go back to look at what I was talking about so that way you are caught up. But I did mention that I had to have a emergency hysterectomy. And so going back to that journey, I had a large uterus, and my uterus, you guys, was the size of a pineapple. And then I had several cysts, several fibroids, that were connected to that. And so when I think about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was always craving for ice. Okay. So then they say, you know what? You are anemic. And then again, the periods were they were painful. And I just remember changing out pads and just bleeding through my clothes, quite frankly. And then I also remember just feeling full, having that fullness. And it looked like I was like big and pregnant and just swollen. And also just remember having that, just that chronic, just that pain. And then also pain during sex. So sometimes sex was not enjoyable because, you know, how the uterus was positioned and how the fibroids was positioning themselves as well. And so, so I want to go back to tell you guys, hey, this is what my reasoning was and why we had to get that removed. Okay. I also wanted to go over two things that two women shared with me while they were at my book signing. One of them was talking about her hysterectomy journey. And she was stating that during COVID, she was just bleeding nonstop. And so this was the beginning of COVID. And so I said, well, what did they do for you? Well, she did. She went to the hospital and they pretty much kind of brushed it off and said, you know what, right now that is not a big concern. And, you know, she just kept on moving on with life. And not until a year and a half later, catch that, a year and a half later. So imagine just bleeding like that and feeling weak and depleted and sluggish, but she still has to work. You know, she's still tired, but she still has to push through. And yes, you guessed it, she looked like me, a woman, a Black woman. And a lot of times we are pushed to the back burner. But moving forward, after a year and a half, she was able to get the hysterectomy. So for her, she feels like, man, it saved my life. So no, I'm not telling you I'm against hysterectomies, but I want you guys to really do your research because that may not be the end all be all. It is other alternatives out there that you can take a look and research to make sure it is for you. Excuse me, let me get some more tea. We got to beat those toxins out my system today. And then also another guest came in. She shared that she has several fibroids, and she brought something new to my attention and I'm a student of just learning. I love to learn. A procedure that they have, and it's called UFE. And it's uterine fibroid embolization. And so what that is they'll go they'll have like a little slit. They'll go through your arm and or a slit by your thigh. And what they do is they pretty much take out, what's the wording I'm looking for? So pretty much the blood supply. So they cut the blood supply from the fibroids, you guys, and they just shrink and wither away. Man, why I didn't know about this? I wish that I knew about this particular procedure. This is something that I would have considered. And so I did my research, and they have 45 centers, and it's USA Fibroids centers. And I was just presently so surprised with it. And I'm like, man, this is what they do? Oh my gosh, man, this is cool. And so a couple of people that you kind of know have actually used them, which is Cynthia Bailey from The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and also Toya Johnson. And I'm just like, wow. And I believe Shay Johnson too used it as well, but they're not in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're more like in Georgia. I think Virginia and Pennsylvania too has them. But man, I wish I would have known about that. I will be sharing more to come with that as well. And I did some more research in terms of the sizes of uterine fibroids and the common reproductive concerns. So those are common reproductive concerns. And this is coming from the CDC. Common reproductive health concerns such as endometriosis, uterine fibroids, which we're going to dive deep into that as well, gynecologic cancer, HIV, interstitial cystitis, PCOS, sexual transmitted infections, and sexual intimate partner violence. So we're going to be diving into that coming up, but I needed to talk to you guys and wrap up my hysterectomy journey. So again, for those that are tuning in, please do me a favor. Watch this. Yes, please. But I want you to go back and watch the first half. Okay. Now, I left off where the anesthesiologist and the nurse was wheeling me back to the room where I could go and get the procedure performed, the hysterectomy. And then I remember just having flashing lights, and then I woke up. So when I woke up, I was in a room, an open room where they just have curtains. And I just remember being in pain. I also remember just asking, where is my husband? Where is my better half, my real life Thor? Where is he at? And so they went to go get him. And I was just, you guys, just so happy to see my fine husband. Okay, because I know he has me covered. And then the nurse was really nice there, and she was saying, you know what, are you in pain? I was like, yes. She said, are you thirsty? I was like, yes. She gave me water. Then they also gave me pain medication. So before me leaving, she stated, hey, we need to make sure that you can urinate, and also when you're urinating, making sure there is no blood there. And so making sure that they didn't nick anything while they were doing my hysterectomy. So I was able to use the restroom, no blood, and they pretty much kicked me out. So I remember getting my belongings and getting into my SUV, our SUV, and just driving. And I was like, wow, this is about to be my new normal here. This is something else. And just on the way home, it took about maybe 30 minutes. My husband was like, okay, I'm about to drive slow just to make sure, you know, I'm not feeling no pain on the way, or more pain, should I say. And we have a 2-story house, and I just remember my husband just gliding me up the stairs. And remember, I was still under the anesthesia. So I just remember him just gliding me up the stairs. And thank God for him and my mom, because my mom made sure that, hey, the bed is ready. Everything is rocking and ready for her. And it was so uncomfortable to sleep in the bed, you guys. Oh my gosh, it was so uncomfortable. I was trying to figure out, okay, these pillows is not working. Man, I'm laying different ways, and it just did not cut it. You guys, I had to lay on the floor. That was comfortable for me, laying on the floor. And I just remember they gave me like an emesis base, like a bag, so I could be able to vomit. And I remember vomiting. Sorry for those who have a weak stomach, but I remember vomiting. And they also gave me a binder. And so that binder was helpful to kind of hold everything in place. And they also gave me a spirometer, and it helps to exercise your lungs and to keep any fluid from your lungs. So I remember them doing that. And let me tell you guys, when I tell you that constipation and that gas is real, oh my gosh. So I remember taking fiber, the fiber supplement, because when you're taking antibiotics, that can also cause the constipation. And I remember just taking stool softener, fiber. I remember doing that. And I was trying to thug it out with not taking the pain medication at first. That was the wrong mistake for me to do that. Yes, that pain hit me, and I said, okay, you know what? Nope, I can't be that strong. Let me go ahead and continue taking it around the clock. So I do remember taking that. And I remember drinking Gatorade, water, and yogurt, and some soup too. So I remember doing that, and the doctor made sure to let me know that, remember, these are these, what is it called? The stitches, they dissolvable stitches. So to make sure while you're in the shower to not wash on those, because you don't want to cause any type of infection or any type of opening the wound. So I remember doing that as well. And so I want to give a shout out to my husband and my mom for pulling together and taking care of me. I did feel like a burden on them. And the thing is, when you're in the healthcare, you guys, you're so used to taking care of everybody else. And so you feel helpless when it's your turn, when someone has to return the favor for, to do that for you. Also, my little man, he didn't really understand what was going on at that time. But if I could do it again, and my family knows this, if I could do it again, I would have hired a nurse, someone that this is what they do, and so that way it didn't put pressure on my family. But nevertheless, my family is strong. They pushed through, and I am here today to tell the story, you guys. And I was thankful for those two that also reached out to me during that time and sent me flowers and just all that kind of great jazz. Now, after this, a couple weeks going by, I had to really start doing that walking, because not getting stiff. So I had to make sure I was doing walking and things like that. And then I call it graduating. So I graduated to walking down the steps and then going back into the doctor's office. Okay. So again, remember the doctor that looked like me? Right? A black woman and a woman from California. I went back to see her. And I remember her doing a swab just to make sure, okay, hey, there's no yeast infections and things like that. And I just really remember just being like sad, like, oh my gosh, like, man, this is my new normal. There is no turning back. It's already done. And no more children. I was just like, man, like, this is my new normal. And then I just remember her telling me, well, do you think you need Prozac? Let me sip some tea on that, y'all. Let me sip some tea. I got to sip some tea. Lord help me. She asked me, do you think you need Prozac? And that is the issue with, I feel, a lot of providers. They just want to just put medication. This is my opinion. And working in the medical field, I've seen this. They just want to just, here you go, here's medication without any type of other alternatives. Hey, let me get you to a support group, because no, I don't understand what this is like, but maybe you can find some type of comfort there instead of just, hey, do you think you need Prozac? And I thought to myself, after I was her counselor, maybe she needed Prozac. That's what I was thinking. After everything that she was talking to me about with her office and this and that, and not being able to afford and pay her staff, maybe she needed Prozac. But moving right along. And so that was the end of me seeing that doctor. And hopefully this is a learning lesson, and I'm a patient, and patient experience, it truly, truly, truly matters. And so that's the experience that I had. I hope that you guys don't go through that particular experience. And again, I do have a support group, and that is called the Uterus Bar, and it is a safe space for you to learn. It's a safe space to connect and be able to share your story, because your hysterectomy matters, your voice, your story, and you matter. Okay. So we are going to dive into the common reproductive health concerns for women. Okay. And so we're going to talk about uterine fibroids, because this is a huge topic. And just so you guys know, over 80% of Black women will have a fibroid by the age of 50 years old. I want to repeat myself. Over 80% of Black women will experience having a fibroid by the age of 50 years old. And I'm getting my information from the CDC, also the American College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and also Give me one second. Yes, and also the Mayo Clinic. So you guys, I have some tea for you guys today. So uterine fibroids are the most non-cancerous tumors in women of reproductive age. Fibroids are made of muscle cells and other tissues that grow in and around the wall of the uterus and the womb. The cause of fibroids, they're saying there is unknown, but risk factors include African American women or being overweight. And these are the symptoms of fibroids. And this is what this includes. Heavy or painful periods or bleeding between periods. Feeling full in the lower abdomen, urination often, pain during sex, lower back pain, infertility, and multiple miscarriages. So before my little man was born, I remember having 6 fibroids. So me and my husband, we were trying to conceive, and I remember we had some issues, infertility issues. And so we went to, I went to my OB, and she did ultrasounds and ran some tests, and sure enough, I had 6 fibroids. So I was like, oh my gosh. And some of which were blocking the area of the fallopian tubes as well. So I did some research, and I was like, well, how can I conceive? Like, what do I need to do? And we also went to a fertility specialist, and I remember the fertility specialist telling me and my husband that I was a geriatric age, and and at the time I was 35, because I had him at 36. And I remember them saying that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, geriatrics and your egg quality is diminishing. And then also, hey, you have these fibroids, so you would need to have surgery to remove them. And I'm like, I'm not about to have no surgery. No. That's not what I want to do. And so I was just thinking, you know what? I do have faith. I do know how to pray, and I know how to research. So I started researching, how can I shrink these fibroids down? And so, or how to get rid of these fibroids. And so I came up with a tea, a blend, and sure enough, I was able to shrink those fibroids down. And after that, I had another procedure where they look to see if you have any type of blockage going on. And I'm going to tell you guys, the fibroids are gone. And so we actually conceived, because I'm thinking that was in August that I went to go see the doctors. We found out we were pregnant in October. Okay, now moving forward. So we're pregnant, and then baby's seeming to grow healthy and all that kind of good stuff. And so I didn't really feel him move as much. And I was trying to figure out, like, man, what's going on? What's happening? Because the fibroids, they did grow back. And so the blood supply to the fibroids, that was what's keeping them alive, and the hormones or whatnot. And I remember having to have an emergency C-section, and come to find out, one of the fibroids was on top of my son's head. So it does make me emotional, because I'm so thankful that nothing happened to my son while baking in the oven. And so this is real, you guys. So so I remember that. And the providers, the surgeons, they did not remove the cyst. Not the cyst, I keep thinking about cysts, but they did not remove the fibroids. They were saying they didn't want any infection to happen or for me to bleed out, and that they would monitor it. Okay, so this is what they were telling me. And fast forward to now, so our son is 5. And if I go back, because we've been here in Vegas, it'll be 3 years in January. And so I remember when we first moved here, you guys, I got into a car accident. And when I went to go have an MRI, guess what showed up in the MRI? The fibroid gang. So they are like, hey, we didn't go nowhere. We're here. And so I was like, man, this is why the menstrual, is still, I got the heavy bleeding going on. This is why I'm still having painful sex. This is why I'm feeling full. This is why I'm looking bloated. It was, they were there like, hey, peekaboo, we see you. So, and I remember like, man, why am I just want this ice all the time. And I'm like, okay, here we go. This has come back. And so when I researched and tried to find another provider, when I found the first provider, she did tell me, yes, you do have those fibroids, but they're not going to stop you from conceiving. And I was like, no, I've been told that before, but again, trying to trust. And then that's when, moving forward, I had the miscarriage. We got pregnant, had the miscarriage, and so forth. So I say all of this to say is really, truly get to know your body and to make sure that you do your research, right? Because if you don't do your research, then you're just walking around, and then any provider can just tell you any and everything, and then you're looking like, oh my gosh, no one has told me anything. And let me tell you guys, a lot of times women, we do not know that we have cysts, or we don't know that we have fibroids going on until it's too late, or until now we have to have surgery. Because we have talked to the providers and saying, hey, you know what, I'm in pain, and our pain points go unheard. It's just like, okay, whatever, you can handle pain. And I was told that before by a provider that African American women, melanin women, Black women, we can handle pain. Well, just because I can handle pain don't mean I want to be in pain all day. I don't want to deal with that. That is tiring to have to go through, having these heavy periods, just bleeding, pain. Feel like you're going crazy, just falling out, passing out. No one wants to go through that. So I was told that once before. Now, the fibroids, let me tell you the sizes. So some of the fibroids, you guys, they can be as small as cherries, and they can continue to grow as the size of a plum or orange. And you guys, they can get as big as a melon or a watermelon. And so imagine you just carrying that around. Not fun, does not feel good, and it's painful, okay? So just so you guys know, like, hey, this is how big it can actually get. Now, there are different types of fibroids, okay? And I told you already the sizes, but the width, it can be from 5 to 6 inches wide, okay? And they can completely fill the pelvis or the abdomen, okay? Now, who is most likely, and I'm going to repeat this again, who is most likely to have fibroids? So fibroids are most common in women age of 30 to 40, okay, but they can occur at any age. Fibroids occur more in Black women than white women. They also seem to occur in a younger age and grow more quickly in Black women. And because, I want to state this too, and it's due to racism and not like being equal in society, which can increase the risk of health problems. Also, fibroids may run in families, so a family history of fibroids may be a factor, you guys, also as well, okay? So a lot of people are saying, okay, what is the causes? What is the cause of this? So right now, studies are unclear. We're unclear why. But some research suggests that they developed from misplaced cells that are in the body before birth. And the female hormones estrogen and progesterone appears to be involved in their growth. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. And so, for example, menopause causes a decrease in estrogen. So at that time, fibroids often shrink when a woman enters menopause. Well, now there's another problem. I don't want to have to go through menopause to get these fibroids shrunken down. Like, who wants to do that? And then now you're going through menopause. Now you feel like you're going through your own private summer. Who wants to deal with that either? So hormonal medications that contain estrogen, such as birth control pills, may cause fibroids to grow. All right. So I had the IUD, the Mirena, after giving birth to my son. And this is what was one of the big causes of the fibroids growing and growing and growing. And due to me having the Mirena, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Mirena crash. I eventually ended up taking the Mirena out because it wasn't helping me. It was doing more damage than good, because my body was like, what is this? This is foreign. This is not supposed to be in my body, in your body or whatnot. And so I remember taking the IUD, getting the IUD removed. And I remember feeling like I was going crazy, like literally hot sweats, just clots coming out. I remember just feeling like not myself. And that's what they call the Mirena crash. So when you guys get a chance, look into that, the Mirena crash. And that's the 5-year IUD. The 10-year has no hormones, and that's called and it's copper, and that's called the Paragard. So make sure you look into that. And coming up, we're gonna do some talking about birth control. We're gonna do some of that. That's gonna be a very another interesting talk. So, what are some symptoms of fibroids? So this is what I want you guys to pay attention to and look out for. So changes in your period, okay? Longer, more frequent or heavy menstrual periods, menstrual pain and cramps, not just regular cramps, but we're talking about painful menstrual cramps to where you are bent over on bended knee, okay? Or like in fetal position. This is what they're talking about. Vaginal bleeding at times other than your menstruation, anemia, form of loss of blood loss in the abdomen or lower back, like you have that, like you feel like you're full or dull or achy, more sharp pain, and also pain during sex. Now listen, some pain during sex can be really fun and nice, but not that type of pain. That's not the pain that you want. Okay, I can tell you now that's not it. Pressure, feeling like, oh my gosh, I have this pressure just walking around, or pressure when you're urinating. That's not it either. Constipation, or rectal pain, or difficult having bowel movements, you guys. Enlarged uterus and abdomen. So that's something that happened to me, like I was explaining to you guys previous, that my uterus, you guys, was the size of a pineapple. Although I love pineapples, I didn't want that having the size of a pineapple uterus. Miscarriages and infertility. So sometimes fibroids cause no symptoms. So when you go to your doctor, they may say, you know what, we noticed that we do see fibroids there, but they're not enough to where we can remove them, having a myectomy. What we can do is just monitor them. And if they really start causing more harm, then we can take a look into having them removed, or they may suggest for you to have a hysterectomy. So I want to make sure that, again, that you are doing your research and you know your body and you know what you need and feel. Now, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to go over what complications, what can happen or occur with having fibroids. See you in a bit.
Hey, it's Icarice, and I'm here to tell you about Hotcast for Podcasting. We are a podcasting studio located in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the Hot 702.5 FM studios. You can book online at hot7025fm.com. Just click on Hotcast. You can book and find your times right there. Thank you for booking with Hotcast for Podcasting.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
I had to choose on these big moves. She chose on me. No duck goose. Meditation to the mind while I'm making moves. Tunnel vision to the grind. No, I will not lose. And I'ma put you on, stick to myself, and I'ma be in my zone. Baby, what do you want? She wanna ride my wave, and I'ma play it safe. Can we be on go? Can we hustle and flow? Gotta keep on my clear, gotta stay away from stress. If we dress to impress, you can hop in my ride. Understand where we at, we gotta stay on track and hold each other's back. You just hop on my wave, we'll be okay. You are the question and I am the answer. With you, my baby, my heart beats faster. I'm just here to change your life. You're as sharp as a knife. Smoking spinach with my olive oil. Yeah, I planted the seed in the soil. But what did I plant to be raw? We gotta stay healthy. No, we can't get spoiled. We are the truth and there are no rules. You a ruby, baby, you're a jewel. And I know love is easy, yeah. I need you to believe me, yeah. I knew you was gonna be my girl. To take you away from this world. This world.
Y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
All right, welcome back to the Uterus Bar. It's your girl Artisha, for those that are just tuning in. And where we left off was what complications can occur with fibroids. So let me go back a little bit. Fibroids may be found during a routine pelvic exam or during tests for other problems. Okay. So for those who are like, well, how do I know if I have them? So they can tell your provider that you want to do a pelvic exam or during, or they do like a ultrasound too. Okay. Sometimes they'll do a transvaginal ultrasound where it looks like this long stick. They'll put a condom on. a condom for the ultrasound and start to kind of see like, okay, what's going on. Or they may do a different type of ultrasound. Okay. So what complications can occur with fibroids? Most fibroids do not cause problems, but there may be complications. Fibroids that are attached to the uterus by a stem may twist and cause pain, nausea, you guys, and even fever. Fibroids that grow rapidly or those that start breaking down may also cause pain. And so they're rarely, fibroids are associated with cancer. A very large fibroid may cause swelling of the abdomen. This swelling can make it hard to do a thorough pelvic exam. So fibroids may cause infertility. Someone told me today that a provider told them that cysts and also fibroids do not cause infertility. And I was like, really? That's interesting, because it does. It can cause infertility, especially where it's at. You know, it could be blocking the fallopian tube. So how does the sperm meet the egg if you have something that's blocking there? And other factors should be explored before fibroids are considered the cause of infertility. When fibroids are thought to be a cause, many women are able to get pregnant after they are treated. And so coming up on our next show, I'm going to be talking about a little bit more about the diagnosis and treatments of fibroids. But I wanted to go back a little bit more about hysterectomies. And I still have my ovaries, and I know a lot of women still have their ovaries too. And for those that do not know, in the United States, every year, 600,000 women have hysterectomies. That's a lot. That is a lot. And so again, do your research, be your own advocate, because once you go there, you can't go back. Okay. So a couple things that does occur. So one of them is depression. Okay. Let's talk about, let's have a real conversation, and let's talk about mental health. And so when this arises, you guys, because, you know, it's a new normal for a woman, you know, especially let's say those that weren't able to conceive, and then they were told that they have to have this. This is their only option. And then we go into those that were trying to continue to explore the options of having family, or those that even after they're like, okay, I don't want to have family, but let's just get this out because it's causing me so many different issues. However, there is, you know, when you have sex, you're thinking, oh my gosh, man, it may be a possibility of having, becoming pregnant. And so knowing that that's not the same for you anymore can cause some type of like, dang, this is jacked up here. And then you start thinking about, let's say if you had to take out your ovaries, now it throws you into having menopause, and now you have another issue, your own private summer. Okay. And then there's another issue here, medication. And so you have to be careful with those type of medications, because now it can throw you into having cancer. So it's a snowball effect, and I want every woman and even men to be able to support your significant other, to know like, man, this is real out here in these streets when it comes to hysterectomy and the uterus. And that's what we call it, the uterus bar, everything underneath the hood that a woman is actually dealing with. Another thing, because like I said, I still have my ovaries, but I recently found out, like, you know what, you need to go ahead and start getting, testing, just to make sure that you are not going through perimenopause. And so getting that blood work done. So I definitely am going to get that blood work done just to see where I'm at in that. They do not tell you, and I'm saying providers do not walk you through the steps of, hey, this is what sex may feel like afterwards. And so in the beginning, sex is not enjoyable at all because you're trying to figure out what is really going on here. But once, you get to that point, let me tell you, sex is like fireworks. Okay. Yes. And then they don't talk to you about UTIs after. Things don't feel the same. So the way you would know that you have a UTI is not the same as if you had, your uterus still intact or your cervix still intact. It's totally different, you guys. And it also yeast infections. Okay. They don't tell you about that either, how things are going to be different. And you may not know that you have a yeast infection, or have, like I said, UTI or whatnot. But this is why it's so important to drink water and to be able to flush that out. This is why it's so important to make sure that you are removing toxins out your system. That's why we got that Let Lymph Flow lymphatic tea. I'm telling you, it's removing out toxins one person at a time on a daily. And then again, just making sure that your sugar count is not high, because again, that causes, yeast infections. Okay. And I don't know if you guys know, it's the herb called D-mannose, making sure I'm saying it properly. What that does, it's almost like a magnet, and it gets rid of that bacteria that's causing the UTI symptoms, and it's flushed out. And make sure, you guys, also that you are urinating before and after. Okay, urinating before and after sex, so that way, everything is flushing out too. Okay, so again, you guys, it has been real. It's been fun. Wait, my doctor said I could choose for him to take my ovaries or not. Like, I'm 32, and why would I want to be in menopause right now? I know that's right. So I kept them. Thankfully, I had the option because I know a lot of women don't even get the choice. Thank you, Chris Rogers, for that. You know what? Yes, a lot of women, they do not get the choice of, I didn't get the choice at first. And I was able to tell my provider the same thing. And thank God for my cousin. She's the one that let me know to make sure that you keep your ovaries. And thank you for everyone that is tuning in, listening. And Chris, air hugs, my love, that you went through this process, and thank you for sharing. Okay, you guys, I'm excited. I'm going to be back on air next Wednesday, okay, at 1 p.m. on the hottest radio station, 702.5 FM sound. And one more thing, you guys, if you have any questions, please email me at theuterusbar@hot702.5fm.com, and I would love to answer your questions online. And again, don't forget to get the book, and don't forget to get your tea at 208lymphatics.com. You guys, it's been real. Have a beautiful, blessed Wednesday. Bye.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot702.5fm.com.